Hello, this is Donna Lewis with the Clark County Park District, and today we're doing another Book Nook version of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So today I'm going to read it like I normally do. Last week I tried to just show you the pictures as I read it, and it wasn't quite working like I planned. So today we're going to do the second chapter of this version of Lewis Carroll's book. Pretty sure it's close to his original version. So she's in Wonderland. She's already been a giant and a little tiny person. And I hope you like my sporting attire today. All right, so I'm in Mad Hatter fashion today. So a caucus race and a long tail. So this is our next version of the book. That was a narrow escape, said Alice, but just then her foot slipped. And splash, she was up to her chin in salt water. Her first thought was that she had somehow fallen into the sea, but she soon realized that she was in the pool of tears she had wept when she was 9 feet high. I wish I hadn't cried so much, said Alice as she swam around trying to find her way out. Just then she heard something splashing a little way off. She swam nearer and saw that it was a mouse. Oh, Mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? The mouse said nothing. Perhaps it doesn't understand English, thought Alice, so she tried the first sentence in her French lesson book, which was, "Where is my cat?" The mouse quivered with fright and swam away from her. "Oh, I beg your pardon," cried Alice hastily. "I quite forgot you didn't like cats. Do come back again." The mouse swam slowly back to her and said in a low, trembling voice, "Let us get to the shore, and I'll tell you my history, and you'll understand why I hate cats." So there she is, swimming in her pool of tears when she was a giant. Remember, she was a giant. She was weeping. And now all the animals are swimming with her. So we've got a mouse and a frog and an owl and a dodo bird, some type of parrot, a squirrel, a duck, hedgehog, all kinds of stuff. So there's Mouse telling his story to all these different types of animals. So you see the parrot and the duck and the owl. There's the mouse telling his story. A blue-footed booby bird. All kinds of animals. Oh, there's a little, looks like a kestrel, sparrowhawk. The pool was getting quite crowded with the birds and animals that had fallen into it. There were a duck and a dodo, a lory and an eaglet, and several other curious creatures. Alice led the way, and the whole party swam to the shore. They were a queer-looking party that assembled on the bank, all dripping wet, cross, and uncomfortable. The first question was how to get dry again. The mouse, who seemed to be a person of authority among them, called out, "Sit down, all of you, and listen to me. I'll soon make you dry enough." They all sat down at once in a large ring with the mouse in the middle. "Ahem," said the mouse with an important air. "Are you all ready? History is the driest thing, I know. Silence all around, if you please." "I beg your pardon," interrupted the dodo solemnly, rising to its feet. "I move that the meeting adjourn for the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies. The best thing to get us dry would be a caucus race." "What is a caucus race?" said Alice. "Why," said the dodo, "the best way to explain it is to do it." First it marked out a race course in a rough circle, and then everyone was placed along the course, here and there. There was no 1, 2, 3, go, but they all began running when they liked and stopped when they liked, so that it was not easy to know when the race was over. When they had been running for half an hour or so and were quite dry again, the dodo suddenly called out, "The race is over," and they all crowded around it, panting and asking, "But who has won?" The dodo stood for a long time with one finger pressed upon its forehead, while the rest waited in silence. At last the dodo said, "Everybody has won, and all must have prizes." "But who is to give the prizes?" a chorus of voices asked. "Why, she, of course," said the dodo, pointing to Alice with one finger. Alice pulled out a box of candies from her pocket and handed them out as prizes to the animals. "But she must have a prize herself, you know," said the mouse. "Of course," the dodo replied very gravely. "What else have you got in your pocket?" "Only a thimble," said Alice sadly. Oh, and here's the mouse telling his story with all the creatures in the background. I'm going to take that off to make it easier. "Hand it over," sir, said the dodo. Then the dodo solemnly presented the thimble, saying, "We beg your acceptance of this elegant thimble." Alice thought the whole thing very absurd, but she bowed and took the thimble, looking as solemn as she could. Then they sat down again and begged the mouse to tell them something more. "You promised to tell me your history, you know," said Alice. "Mine is a long and sad tale," said the mouse, sighing. "It is a long tale, certainly," said Alice, looking down at the mouse's tail. "But why do you call it sad?" And she kept on puzzling about it while the mouse told his story. "You are not paying attention," said the mouse to Alice after he had finished speaking. "I beg your pardon," said Alice very humbly as the mouse got up and walked away. "Please come back and finish your story." But the mouse shook his head and walked away faster. "What a pity it wouldn't stay," sighed the Lorry. "I wish I had our Dinah here," said Alice. "She'd soon fetch it back." "And who is Dinah?" said the Lorry. Alice replied eagerly, "Dinah's our cat, and she's such a capital one for catching mice. Oh, I wish you could see her go after the birds." Alice was soon left alone as the animals quickly departed. "I wish I hadn't mentioned Dinah," she said to herself in a melancholy tone. "Nobody seems to like her down here." And here poor Alice began to cry again, for she felt very lonely. So there she is with all the dripping wet animals, and she wasn't too popular by talking about Dinah the cat to some of these animals that Dinah would catch, right? So there they are. Very strange story, isn't it? Okay, so that is the end of chapter 2. So first she went to Wonderland and had to figure out how to get out of that room, and she got big and she got little again, and then she met a bunch of animals. She met the rabbit, met a bunch of animals. So a caucus race and a long tail, and met all these animals, in case you didn't see it very well before. Then chapter 3 is advice from a caterpillar, and that is crazy. Okay, so back next week, come back next week on Monday, 10:30, and we'll read chapter 3 of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. A crazy story indeed, isn't it? All right, guys, and don't forget, we have tea party bags at the Davidson Interpretive Center for $15 each. And if you get that, you can have your own little Mad Hatter tea party, which the Mad Hatter is coming up in, I believe, chapter 4. So can't wait. All right, thank you guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.